I am really glad you all are here today. I am really thankful for whoever's in the space with us when we do things like this. I believe that there's value in the people who show up, and whoever can listen later, I feel like it will be valuable for them too. This is really for us to take care of ourselves, but also those of us who work with people. We may need to know some of these things as well to pass on to clients that we may have, or people that we come in contact with, or if we're supervisors, people that we are supervising. So this is going to be helpful for us, but also that we can give away to others. Um, so let's see here. There we go. All right. So I just thought it would be really important to define what these words are that we're using. So, it's using self-awareness to find peace on stressful days. Days feel stressful sometimes they don't, but we still can seek for peace. But we don't always know what these words mean. So self-awareness, as it's defined by the APA, American Psychological Association, is self-focused attention or knowledge. So being focused on ourselves in a way that helps us become aware is really what self-awareness is. And we want to use that awareness to grow and to take care of ourselves and do meaningful work, which I think that's what brings all of us into this moment together, is that we have become aware of what our goals and our hopes are for our community. Self-care, so activities required for personal care, such as eating, dressing, or grooming, that can be managed by an individual without the assistance of others. That's a very interesting definition for self-care. We probably have never heard it put out into the atmosphere that way before. We think about, things that are fun, going to do things that care for our bodies and stuff. And we've never really thought about it this way, but this is essentially what we're doing. When we do things for ourselves, it is for us. And we're able to do these things in a way that brings us, again, some peace. And really, it is individualized, as it talks about here. It's something that you can do without the assistance of others. So it can just be quiet time, taking a nap, all of those things that we'll kind of talk about today. Stress. So I know for myself, I don't always identify what I feel as being stressed, but the definition is the physiological or psychological response to internal or external stressors. So some of us work with populations of people who maybe live life every day without knowing that something is stressful happening to them, and their body's responding to it, and they have no clue. So even with us being able to understand and identify stress, we can help others do that as well. And then peace. There's a lot of different definitions for peace. If you're thinking about it from a spiritual standpoint, some of us believe that peace comes from another source. And so this is a definition of peace. It's a state of tranquility or quiet, such as freedom from disquieting or oppressive thoughts or emotions. And I thought that was a really beautiful definition, because peacefulness for a lot of people does look like quietness. Just how do you get into this peaceful state? So those are definitions that I felt were really helpful as we just talk briefly about how to care for ourselves and becoming self-aware. So let's see here. Next slide is spending time with yourself. So one way that you can use your self-awareness to find peace is to spend time with yourself. And that looks like thinking through your feelings, understanding your thoughts, really focusing on your dreams and aspirations, or you could be thinking about your actual dreams when you were sleeping. But this is a really important thing to do. Spend time with yourself, quiet time, alone, have a space where you go, encourage people that who you've experienced in stressful situations to do this as well. Get alone someplace. It's really helpful to take that time to do whatever you need to do, but just the quietness of sitting with yourself is important, because some of your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams could be causing your stress. So it could not be that you're just experiencing stress in your day. These could be the things that are causing you stress. So when you sit with yourself and you think about what those things are, you're able to find some peace. Spend time with others. So that's what we're doing now. We're spending time together. And although it felt hard and difficult to even get into this space today, once we got into it, I think we all settled into some sort of peace with where we're at. So we say we're in the meeting, it took us time to find the link, but we're here. And now this feels peaceful to sit with one another, to have conversations, to check in, talk about gratitude, gratefulness, thankfulness. And so that alone can really allow a person to just feel peaceful for the rest of their day because you did something that you felt was meaningful. So spending time with others, it can be your friends. So maybe you're going to go out after this meeting and you're going to spend some time with your friends, or your family. After you log out today, you're going to call somebody or send a text message or FaceTime with them. Volunteering. I know all of us in this space probably at some point volunteer our time for something that feels really meaningful to us. And then working just in general. So this might be somebody's job who's logged in today. It brings you something, some sort of peace to know that you're doing what you feel like you should be doing. And you have to be aware of what that is first. So we all became aware that we are passionate about children and their well-being. And so it brought us to this space. And now we're able to find some peace and some joy. Next, include wellness in your daily schedule. So I put down some things, nap. So you see the person who's at the computer, that's literally me. That's me sometimes. I think I'm sleeping with my eyes open, but I really feel like I need a nap. And I've enjoyed naps as I've gotten older, and I feel like it should be a part of my daily schedule at this point, because it's part of being well. Enjoy nature. We are in the Pacific Northwest. You can literally go outside right now. You probably could open your window. You'll see a tree. Maybe you'll hear birds. You'll see some grass, blue skies today, sunny out. You can go out, feel the crisp air. If you can't see those things, you can go out. You can hear the birds chirping. I mean, just enjoy nature. And every day, right? We could do this every single day. Those of us who go outside every day can enjoy something in nature. And eat a good meal. I feel like that's really important. That was back on the first slide around self-care. Eating a good meal. And it doesn't have to be what anybody defines as good. You define what the meal is for yourself. So again, as we work with people in different populations, a good meal for them may look different than a good meal for somebody else. Whatever it is, it's good. And so we really want to honor that. That's just kind of a side note. As we're working with different people, different populations, we want to honor what they find to be good. So for yourself, make sure that you're taking time to just eat a good meal throughout the day. If you can, at least once or twice in the day. It also causes you to slow down. So as you're preparing or thinking through what you're going to eat, you're going to naturally slow down. Helping others. So this is a little different than just spending time with others. As we talked about in the earlier slide, this is now how you're going to fulfill the thing that you have become aware of. So like I said, I see people in multiple different settings throughout the week, and I know that those settings bring them joy because they are helping someone else. So when you're helping others, it means you probably need to be a great listener. You're going to listen to what people are telling you their needs are. You're going to listen to the community, hear the needs of the community. You're going to listen again to yourself, right? So that the earlier slide, kind of sitting with your thoughts, listening to yourself so that you can go out and help others is really important. Then as you offer support, so as you see the person with the little person on the bike, offer your support, help people out, help people in the community, help somebody do something, hold the door for someone, reach something on a higher shelf that they can't reach, pick something out for somebody. Just by helping others, it really does. It does something to you to bring yourself out of your own stress, putting yourself into a very peaceful state. And I just think there's so much research behind what it looks like for people to help somebody else, just how it boosts their own mood. And then share ideas. So again, that's what we do here in this space. When we all log in, we come with something that we find valuable to ourselves that, again, we became aware of, and then we share it out into the open space. And we listen to those things and we take those things with us and we carry them with us throughout the rest of our day and throughout our week. And eventually, hopefully, we put some of those ideas into practice. So do these things so that you can find some peace in your day. But again, these are all things that you've become aware of within yourself. So our last slide kind of just looks at self-care coping techniques. So again, as we talked a little bit about self-care in the earlier slide, it is different than what we think. And I really believe in prevention. So prevention from a behavioral health standpoint, and definitely prevention for people who don't have access to these types of things. So where can we get these out? So school, church, community centers, the community cafes that we do, just random people we talk to, social media, right? There are communities of people that don't necessarily have access to these things. They don't even know what self-care looks like. They don't understand what it means to cope. We have to embody these things, of course, so that we can tell people they work. We have to say, you know what, I do these things, they work, and then we pass it along. So some self-care coping techniques. The top one is what's really dear to me, of course, is prayer and meditation. I'm just from a spiritual practice. Again, as a spiritual person, I believe that's one of the things that help me the most. And it doesn't have to be based on any religion. It can be based on your own spirituality. Where do you find meaning? So knowing for yourself, how do I make meaning of the day? How do I make meaning of life? Like, how do I make meaning of these trees outside and the wind that I feel? So meditating on those things, or of course praying to a higher power, are things that are helpful for your self-care and coping. So again, think prevention and also think of outcomes. So if you're preventative, you might be doing these things every day. If you are responding to something that's happened to you, these are things that are going to be helpful to get through those situations. So listening to music. I love music. It's helpful for me to just come outside of myself. It brings me joy. I've always really enjoyed music. Some people like to write music. So that might go in a couple categories down, but listening to music is something that can definitely bring you peace. Drawing or painting, again, same thing, getting something creative going for yourself. Writing or journaling, I put that separately because I think some people believe that they have to do something specific when they journal. I tell people just to freely write, write whatever you want, write words, write sentences, paragraphs, bullet points. That's what your journal can look like. But because I know there is some stereotyping around journaling and what it should look like, I'll also just include for people to write, just write. Talking. So I believe talking is very helpful. Again, from a preventative standpoint, for a responsive standpoint, talking through what it is that you feel, experience, being in connection with others, communicating with people. It is so helpful. If we can get the people that we work with, that we see every day, to feel comfortable enough to talk to us, that's a win. People need somebody to talk to. Exercising. So you see this person running up the steps. I don't go that fast. I definitely don't have any wind moving when I'm going up the steps, but exercising can be slow and at your own pace. It's meant to make you feel like you're doing something for your body and for your mind. And so you can do that every single day. Again, prevention or responsiveness is one thing you can think about when exercising. Sleeping and eating. Both of those things are important for us to do. We must sleep, we must eat to live. So, we just have to do it. And it can feel like a gift to some of us who are really busy, while it can also feel like something that we naturally do because we just understand the importance of it. So sleeping and eating and enjoying nature. I can't live in the Pacific Northwest my whole entire life without saying that. You have to get outside and enjoy what's around you. Live amongst the animals that are outside. The deers, I see deers walking all the time down the street. They're my neighbors. And so we just have to live together in peace. And I think doing that will overcome anything that feels stressful in your day. Once you recognize we're all neighbors, we all have to take care of this earth, this planet, and really, really be thankful for our environment. So I have the references at the end in case any of you needed to know, where did she get those definitions from? How did she find them? How do I look up more of what she talked about? That's here on this last slide. So I'm going to stop sharing. I thank you all for even listening and being here today, and I hope this is helpful.